Pesticide labels are unique when you look at the universe of chemical products available. If a particular chemical meets the criteria of a pesticide, the product label must meet the standard established by US EPA or it is considered to be misbranded. It is important that an applicator reads all the provisions on a label because they provide information on the safe, effective use of a pesticide. It is considered to be a legal document that must be followed. If label directions are not followed, then the result may be an adverse effect to humans or the environment, and in addition to enforcement action, an applicator or company may face legal liability. All the information an applicator needs to apply a pesticide safely is included on the label, with very few exceptions. For example, certain types of restricted use pesticides will require an applicator to go to a company webpage and view additional information that becomes part of a pesticide label by reference. Some labels include endangered species considerations and will require an applicator to visit the EPA ES webpage to see if there are additional use instructions. So, what kind of information can be found on a label? There are at least 12 elements required by EPA. These include brand name, active ingredient statement, a net content statement, EPA registration number, EPA establishment number, signal word, child hazard statement, and statement of practical treatment. Although all these label provisions are important, cultivators need to make sure the active ingredient is on the approved pesticide list. By knowing the difference between the three signal words on a pesticide label, we can make choices based on product toxicity or hazard. The three signal words are danger/poison, the most toxic or hazardous, warning, a pesticide product of moderate toxicity, and caution, indicating that a product is considered to be low in toxicity. In addition to the elements listed in the previous slide, the label must contain directions for use for the particular site where the applicator intends to use the pesticide, a WPS reference statement or agricultural use box if the pesticide will be used in a farm, forest, nursery, or greenhouse situation. Also, the label must include a precautionary statement, storage and disposal instructions, and a restricted use box if the pesticide is classified as an RUP by EPA. Of these elements, directions for use and intended site of use must be on the pesticide label. If any of these items are missing from the label, the product is considered to be misbranded. The first label we will look at has a couple of problems. This particular label contains an active ingredient which is not approved for greenhouse use. The product label states that it is only for outdoor home use. It cannot be used in an indoor commercial facility. Pesticide labels either have instructions for home and residential uses or commercial uses, with few exceptions. Most general use products that can be found in nurseries, home improvement stores, and other retail establishments are home use products. Also, the active ingredient in this product, malathion, is not legal for indoor use. Again, FIFRA 25B exempted pesticides do not need to meet this criteria to be used legally in an indoor grow facility. As mentioned in the previous slide, this product is an exception to the residential versus commercial use provision on the pesticide label. This company's label was approved by EPA but did not include any label language which stated it was for commercial or residential use. Since it includes an active ingredient which can be used in most states, it can be used legally at the present time. This label may be changed in the future by EPA. This pesticide product label indicates that it includes 2 active ingredients. A pesticide applicator must be sure that both active ingredients are approved by the state agency, not just one, if they choose this product. Many growers select a pesticide product based on a recommendation or if they see a pest listed on the label they are trying to control. Although this product is known to control aphids, it cannot be used in an indoor grow facility because the label states not for use in greenhouses. So the selection of this particular product would be a mistake. Since we know the active ingredient is effective against aphids, the correct strategy would be to look for a product that contains an approved active ingredient and one that can be used in a commercial greenhouse. If aphids are the pests you are concerned with, there are multiple active ingredients which will control this pest. This particular active ingredient does have a greenhouse label. Keep in mind that this active ingredient is a systemic product which will be absorbed by the plant and residue will remain in the plant tissue for a long period of time, especially in a greenhouse setting. Therefore, always use the lowest application rate specified on the pesticide label and use the product early in the grow cycle. This is page 2 from the same label. It is hard to read, but to control aphids in 3.5 to 5-inch containers, the lowest rate specified is 1 gram per pot. There are usually other restrictions and prohibitions listed throughout a pesticide label. Note on the bottom of this label, there is an indication that the product will not control adult fungus gnats. So again, it is important that you read the entire pesticide label prior to using this product. For any pest problem you need to deal with, there is usually more than one product that will meet state criteria and will control your pest. This particular product contains the same active ingredient, imidacloprid, as in the previous slide and does have a section on the label which gives the proper use rates for greenhouse plants. In the greenhouse section of the label, only one rate is given, 0.5 fluid ounces per 1,000 plants. It also states that seedlings must not be treated more than 7 days prior to transplanting to assure effectiveness of the chemical treatment. This product is effective against mites. If we were to only look for the pest on the pesticide label, we would like to control before we select a product and not check to see whether the active ingredient is approved, we might select this product. Also, we must be careful because it contains an active ingredient. If used in a greenhouse situation where humidity and heat exist, there may be phytotoxic effects to the plants when used in this type of environment. This is another product which uses the same brand name and the same active ingredient. Note that the WPS reference statement or agricultural use box is not present anywhere on the label, which would indicate it is not for commercial use, even though it states it can be used in greenhouses. Reading the label would reveal that it can only be used in home greenhouses. If mites are a pest we are concerned with, then this product might be considered. It contains a different active ingredient that is effective against mites. It can be used in a commercial greenhouse facility according to the label directions. This product contains the active ingredient known as spinosad and has both agricultural and non-agricultural uses listed on the same label. The agricultural use requirements would apply for commercial greenhouse use. Note that the re-entry interval is 4 hours for this product and that applicators must use coveralls, chemical-resistant gloves, and shoes plus socks when applying this material. This particular product is a chemical of choice for many cultivators. Further review of the label, however, reveals that it does not have a greenhouse label. The company does make a commercial greenhouse version of this product, which has been approved by EPA. However, most cultivators have an easier time locating this product than the commercial or greenhouse version. It may seem like a small difference, but it is important that the site be on the pesticide label for a pesticide to be used legally under federal law. In addition, the product label specifically states not for commercial use. By the way, because the product states for organic production, it doesn't always mean there is no risk to the user or the consumer. Products with organic claims must comply with USDA specifications. Any pesticide application can result in an adverse effect if it is misused. The hazard or risk of becoming sick from exposure is a combination of two factors: the toxicity of a product and the dosage received. If a user is exposed to a high enough dose of an organic product low in toxicity, then adverse effects could still occur. Exposure can occur through oral, dermal, and/or respiratory routes of entry into the body. This is another product which contains the same active ingredient, includes the correct use site, and has commercial pesticide use instructions as evidenced by the agricultural use box, which addresses the WPS requirements. This product meets Nevada specifications. This particular product contains an active ingredient which is commonly used. It conspicuously is missing many of the instructions which are typically found on other pesticide product labels, which also contain this active ingredient and is available for insect and mite control. Since this product does not make pesticidal claims and is being advertised as a leaf polish, it is not being regulated as a pesticide at the present time. This may change because it is currently being used to control pests, and US EPA may consider the product a pesticide and require it to be registered and labeled as such. For now, it is legal to use this product until EPA decides to change its status. EPA has registered a few pesticide products which can be used on industrial hemp. This particular product is a registered pesticide as evidenced by the EPA registration number at the bottom. Not only does this product specify that it can be used on industrial hemp, but can also be used indoors and outdoors. Note also that this product is considered to be a plant growth regulator, or PGR. PGRs are not approved for marijuana use in all states, so don't assume that if a product is approved for use on hemp, it can be used on marijuana as well. Unlike marijuana, hemp can be certified as organically grown. Organic certification does not mean no pesticides were used to produce the crop, but it was grown under strict guidelines established by USDA. Growers wishing to produce products as organic must be certified by USDA, state agencies, or private entities that are authorized to do so. I would recommend taking a photograph of this slide with your cell phone. These are links to some of the more popular sites where you can find and review pesticide labels. The first address is the US EPA website and only contains labels of primary registrants products. In some instances, primary registrants will license other companies, known as subregistrants, to produce their products. For these subregistrants, you should go to the company's webpage directly to look at their labels. The second link is to the National Pesticide Information Center. Not only can you find links to label information, but you can also find fact sheets on most of the pesticide active ingredients. Toxicologists are also available and on call to answer questions about pesticide risk. CDMS, or Crop Data Management System, has product labels available, mostly agricultural products, for you to review. Agrion has a web page, as does NPIRS, also known as the National Pesticide Information Retrieval Service. This list is not complete. Many states have their own pesticide label database or link directly to one or more of these web addresses listed on the slide. Besides finding lists of approved pesticide products and/or active ingredients, state websites have resources for pesticide applicators to make informed choices of pesticide products to be used in their grow facilities. This example is from the California Department of Pesticide Regulation, but most states have this search tool available for products legal to use in their state. As you can see, an applicator can search by product name, registration number, or chemical code. The chemical code is the most important in this instance because it is directly related to the site where the pesticide product can be used. In most cases, you won't find marijuana listed as a site, but in California, industrial hemp can be found. Unfortunately, there is only one product listed at this present time. Hopefully this will change as limitations are lifted on both the state and federal level over time. This concludes my presentation. You will now be required to complete a 10-question exam to demonstrate your knowledge of the subject matter. I wish you luck and hope to speak with you again in another training module.